Hey, I got some great news. It's drawer building day. Stay tuned. So, hello and welcome to the Lost Pines Workshop. I'm JC Jensen. Okay, so the last few episodes we've gone through the process of cutting our half blind dovetails for the front, our through dovetails for the back. We talked that whole process, right? So, our inside faces are smooth, our grooves are cut in the sides, and final cleanup, we chamfered the edges across the top and the bottom, so we don't have those really sharp corners, right? I did chamfer the inside edge of the drawer face, but I've gone ahead for now and I'm leaving the outside square. On the back, the drawer back, right, we cut that bottom edge off. You saw previously that I rough joined it and then trimmed the top down so it's below the back edge of the drawer side. That way, as you're operating the drawer, the back isn't dragging, right? So all of that prep work, all of it's done. And oh yeah, check this out. Successful CNC on the drawer face. So yay! Whoops, like Legos. Okay, so let's put this thing together. Okay, so I'm over here at the vise getting ready to go. So what do I need to assemble a drawer? Well, obviously I need 4 drawer parts, right? Got to have my glue. I'm going to try this new method. I'm using a painter's spatula thing for glue application. Wet rag for squeeze out or paper towel, whatever you got. And then I've also got a very soft face persuader. Okay, these are some pretty tight joints, and once we apply the glue, they're actually going to swell a little bit, so they're going to be fun to put together. Okay, so with that, the next thing that we need, obviously we've got our pieces laid out here. We got to pay attention to the order of assembly. We need to finish. Last piece is going to be tailboard, right, going down, because if you put your 2 sides on, whether you're attaching it to the back or the front, and then you try to install a pin board, it's not going to work, right? You're going to have to flex your sides out, messing up these joints, trying to get this other pin board in. So pay attention to how you assemble. I'm going to first attach the drawer face to one side, then the drawer back, and then I'll apply the other side. Right on? All right, here we go. Drop this down a little bit. And yeah, we're going to go this way. I think I like this. We'll see. Jury's still out. There we go. Now we're getting it. There we go. I think I like it. Using this little guy is it's a little cleaner than using a brush. And those horsehair brushes, the hair always falls out and gets stuck right where you don't want it. And then you get it all over your fingers trying to fish that out. Okay, this is the front. So we are going to apply this is the bottom. This side. this, that, like that. And I'm going to put a little on this end grain here, on the two ends, just because. Using that spatula in here, because these are so tight, close together, really helps. And again, remember, we're putting the glue on the long grain part of our material. Not all concerned. We could put some on the end grain if we chose, but why? It's not necessary. Long grain is going to be plenty. All right. So got it glued up. Moment of truth. Snug my vise up a little bit. Place rag over workpiece. I started this out by hand. Make sure it was all lined up properly. And remember this on the half blind end, it's going to stand proud. Not a lot, however much, however much we left on our on it. Nice. All right. Next up, we'll do a tail. We'll do the drawer back. And I'll spin it this way so you can see what's going on. All right. This is the bottom, which means it goes this way, like so. All right. This is the end I'm working on. Do it this way. Spatula. Flip. I want to work fairly quickly so that I have all this completely assembled before this glue starts setting up. I've got some time. I'm using Tight Bond 3, so I've got a little bit more open time than I would with 1 or 2. All right, that way. Stay. This. All right. So for this, I'm going to put the tail board down. And I'm going to put it in the correct direction. Like so. Let it overhang my workbench a smidge. Nice. Wipe off any squirt out. Squirt out, squeeze out. You know what I mean. All right, so we're left with the tailboard, which will just drop right in here. So let's go. I often find gluing the glue ups to be really stressful. But if you've got a good plan, you got everything that you need. You know, think ahead. If you're going to have problems, you know, maybe you're going to need some clamps. Just think ahead. Have anything that you might need should something go wrong already available where you're working, just to alleviate a panic situation. Going, oh my God, I need a clamp. Where is it? Don't go look for it. Just know where it is. Pre-staged. All right. Bottom to bottom. I'm going to line up the half blind side. Yeah. Now come over here. Yeah, all in good order. So now I'm going to try and take this down relatively. Oh, goodness. Yeah, you should have squared it first, huh? That would have been smart. Oh, we're almost there. There we go. Cool. All right. Let's go back there. I did this once without a rag and had a face full of glue. Like I just about did again. All right, we'll verify square. Yeah, it's looking good. Nice. Okay, so now I do not require any clamps. If I did, I'd be putting them on right about now. All right, so I've set it over here on my table saw, which is a known flat surface, and I'm checking, see if there's any rock in it, and there's none, which means we got the bottom perfect, just perfect. So now, with everything square and the bottom perfect, it's going to sit here overnight I'm going to let all this glue dry, and then we'll come back and work on getting this fitted into the case. That's one. We've got several more to do. This is going to take a while. All right, so here we are. Our drawer is glued up. It's been allowed to dry, i.e. the glue is cured. It's been sitting around for several days as I worked on some other projects. So now we're ready to fit the drawer into the case opening. These are all nice. And as you remember, when we process the sides, on the inside edge of the tailboard, we used our shoulder plane to create that little bit of a lip. And then we adjusted our depth so that the side protruded past the end of the face, or the end of the tailboard, just slightly outside, so that we could plane the outside, A, to make it smooth, and B, to get that perfect piston style fit into the opening. Okay, so in preparation for that, here on my workbench, I've got two pieces of 3/4 MDF. They're not glued together, they're just stacked, right? That gives me an 1.5 inch thickness. And I simply just clamped it here on the end, so I can reuse these later. The width of this is about 1/8 of an inch shy of the span inside the drawer, so that I can slide it easily. Slide the drawer easily onto it. It gives me full coverage, full support all the way through the drawer, and it's really rigid, so that as I run my plane across the surface, everything's, you know, full locked in place. It's not going anywhere. So I have full support this way, and then it's butted up to the side of my workbench, so there will be no movement whatsoever as I plane the side of this drawer. All right, so now I'll take this over to the case, and we'll see what we're shooting for. Okay, so now I'm over here at our case. This is the opening that we're working on. Made sure that it's all cleaned out, right? And this is ready to go. I've already worked on this a little bit because I overshot and left an excessive amount of protrusion. So I've worked on it a little bit already. So I'll show you where I'm at. If I take my drawer and I set it in the opening, the pins back here in the back, I have already planed, and they're really close. There might be a 64th or less, we'll say thousandths of an inch difference between the pins, the pin board and the tail board. I can just feel it right now. All right, and if as I slide it in the opening, perhaps you can hear it. Right, it's dragging a little bit, and it's taking both hands to slide it in, so it's still pretty tight. Okay, but right here is where it gets really tight, and I know that, and I knew this was going to happen because on the front end, this front quarter, all right, it's still, I've got more than a few thousandths of lap between the tailboard and the pin board. So I know I need to work on this a little bit more. At this point, I'm taking really, really light passes, right, down both sides, because they're, right now I've got them equal. So I'll take really, really light passes on, to start with, just this front, almost half, we'll say a third, the front third, until I can push this drawer all the way into the opening. And then I'll, you know, take my time and really tweak it so that when I'm done, I can push the drawer in all the way, one finger from this bottom corner. But it'll still be, you'll still feel a little bit of drag. All right, so there's where we're at. All right, so now I'm back at the workbench. I've got my drawer, the face of the drawer is facing me, right? We oriented our grain pattern so that all of our planing can be done towards the back, so we don't have any tear out or boo-boos here in the front. All right, got my plane blade resharpened. It's ready to go. I'll put some wax down here. And I'll just slowly work my blade in till I start picking it up. All right, a little more. What I'm after is trimming these tails down on the front end. Trying to keep it as even across the surface as I can, so I don't have any tool marks. And it's nice and balanced across the surface as it goes into that opening. And as I'm working, right, I'm taking kind of a heavy bite on this front end and kind of feathering up. So I'm applying pressure here and then relieving the pressure at the halfway so that I don't take any off this back edge that's already kind of fitting in the opening. Just taking my time. Whoops. All right, I'm going to stop right there. Yeah, we'll take one pass through this all the way through. There we go. I left a piece of fuzz there. Flip it over. And we'll go check it. All right, my check revealed that I've got a little bit more to go here on the front edge. What's important here is that you really take your time, make a few passes, check it. Make a few passes, check it. Really take your time so that you get that perfect fit that we're looking for. All right, so now I've got it so that it goes all the way in, right? I still feel drag, but I was just working on this front end. So now I'm just going to take a couple of really light passes, finishing passes down the entire length of both sides, extremely light, just to clean off any of the tool marks from just working this front section. You got crazy grain. You really have to have a sharp blade. All right, real happy with that. Change it over. This is a little more uniform. Just need a couple of strokes on this, I think. Okay, that should be done. Okay, so fitting these drawers for that piston fit is a tedious process. But the end result is spectacular, and you'll love it. If you just take your time, we're shaving, right, and fitting it in on the sides, shaving thousandths of an inch at a time off of these sides until it just poof goes in there. It's awesome. Okay, so take your time. I'm going to do, I've still got to finish assembling the rest of these drawers, and then I'll fit all of them the same. Then I'll come back one at a time and readdress these slightly, primarily on the face as it goes into the cabinet, because we still have to apply a finish to these surfaces, and we don't, applying the finish is going to grow a little bit, and we don't want them sticking and then have to mess our finish up to make it fit. So I'm going to dress these down a little bit more. I'll show that later in the finishing process. Okay. Thanks for watching. We'll see you down the road.